Regis Prograis versus Danielito Zorrilla. This is on deck this weekend, this Saturday in Louisiana, right in front of Regis Prograis' home. He'll be defending his title. Let's get into it. Let's start with Regis Prograis. 28 wins, 1 loss, 24 wins by way of knockout. Now, Regis is now, what, 34, 33, 34 years old, and he is in the height and the prime of his career right now. The southpaw, who many consider is the best in the weight class and maybe even the hardest title to take from all of the champions in the 140-pound division because of what he can do inside the ring. His style isn't your typical style, right? He's athletic, a little bit of that herky-jerky type of movement, but he's always moving, and that's one of the strengths of Regis Prograis. With his movement, he's always trying to counter his opponents, right? His head is always rocking from side to side, always ducking and weaving and slipping. And from those angles that he takes and he gives just off the subtle head movements, man, he can hit you from a different variety of shots from different angles. He's deceptive in his approach. He baits you in, and that's when he clips you because you're like, man, this guy's doing a whole lot of this movement, right? But he's not really getting closer to me. He's not really doing much. And then all of a sudden, boom, in a split of a second, that's when he capitalizes, and you find yourself backing up on the ropes, and you find yourself trying to get out the way of Regis Prograis' onslaught of attacks. That's why you got to be careful when you're fighting a Regis Prograis, because he's risky, right? And he doesn't mind trading shots with you to get off a couple of his. And with 24 knockouts, you can see why he doesn't mind that, because he has power in his shots. Prograis isn't a guy that has that one-shot knockout type of blow like a cerebral Matthias, but it's how he breaks you down. It's an accumulation of his work rate. It's an accumulation of the shots, and it just adds up round to round, right? He's a guy that goes to the body, goes to the head. However he can hit you, best believe he's going to find a way to make sure he makes that happen. And you're not just going to be able to say Regis is a predictable fighter, because his style alone is unpredictable. And when you have a style where you're herking and jerking and moving, man, you don't know what's going to come your way. You don't know when it is going to come your way, and you don't know how he is going to disguise his shot, man. That's why I like Regis Prograis' style, right? It may not look like it's going to work. It may look like he's doing a whole bunch of different movements, but it works for him. He's mastered that type of style, and his defense is improving as well. Now, after his loss to Josh Taylor, he's been fighting back to get back his title, right? I remember watching an interview after his first loss, and you can tell, man, he was disappointed, right? It was a close fight, but you can tell that it was burning something inside of him, and he wanted that title back. His last fight, when he fought Jose Zepeda, man, honestly, he looked great, right? Zepeda didn't know what to do past the first 3-4 rounds, and he was trying, and he was trying hard. But Prograis' speed, pressure, consistency, and accuracy and craftiness, it just became too much, right? And to me, that fight up until the 11th round, man, I mean, it looked like it was a one-sided fight to me. Some close rounds, absolutely, but I thought it was clear to see who was winning that fight. But in that 10th round, right, Zepeda clipped Regis, right? And it looked like maybe Zepeda was going to be able to finish the show going into the 11th and the 12th round, right? But right when Zepeda clipped Regis with a shot, Regis clipped him right back and countered him and controlled and seized the momentum all over again. In the 10th round, man, it was a test of both men testing that will and testing that strength and testing that power. But then in the next round, man, Prograis closed out the show, right? And Zepeda, again, he just couldn't handle anymore. He looked tired as well, too. Energy-wise, man, when you're getting constant pressure, fighting off the back foot, and you're trying to duck out the way, man, it just adds up. And Prograis always comes into great shape, great cardiovascular shape. And the man is just a game-time guy, man. And I thought that was a very good performance against a very good opponent, a champion, and he took his belt. What better way than to get back your title than to take it from a champion and regain back your title, man? I thought it was an excellent performance from him, and I'm looking forward and expecting him to do more of the same in his home city. Let's talk about his opponent, though, Danielito Zorrilla. 17 wins, 1 loss, 13 wins by way of knockout. Man, Zorrilla was a good fighter. Man, a good, solid fighter, a guy who's got good boxing ability and good skill. He's got good power in his shots, but he's looking to set up that right hand, right? Looking to set up that right hand because that is the power shot. That is the money shot. He can hurt you with that shot, but he's also got good boxing ability where he can outbox you as well. To me, he's a natural counter puncher, right? He doesn't like to be too close, but he doesn't like to be too far either. He wants to see the punches coming in. He wants to be able to throw punches without being too close where he is in danger. He's a sneaky cat as well, too, man. Sometimes it looks like he's out of distance at times, right? But then all of a sudden he takes a step and he's right back in the range where he needs to be and wants you to be. Now, when he fought Arnold Barboza Jr., man, he was having success early with that overhand right. The thing with Zorrilla, though, it's not really a volume puncher. He's a precise puncher. So he's not going to throw a whole lot of shots just to throw shots. He's going to wait to find the right shots at the right time. And at that night, I thought he fought a good fight overall, but Barboza just outboxed him, man. He let Barboza control more of the fight, right? Barboza was quicker and had better timing throughout that fight and was just more accurate and precise throughout that fight. Personally, I thought coming in, I actually picked Zorrilla to win because I knew Zorrilla was a bigger puncher than Barboza, but I felt like he was going to be able to bring more pressure and apply more pressure early and make Barboza uncomfortable, right? A lot of people question Barboza's chin, and I felt like Zorrilla, with his skills, his ability, and the power, and his game plan, that he was going to be able to land consistently and to land enough time where he would break Barboza down. But credit to Barboza Jr. for the great game plan that he came in with and just how he boxed that night. He was counter punching well, and he was patient, and he was taking what was given to him, and he was not getting sucked into fighting his opponent's fight. So I thought it was a great fight for Barboza, man. There was a round in the later half of the fight, though. I think it was the last round, where Zorrilla clipped Barboza cleanly and looked like he was about to get Barboza out of there. And I said, man, if you would have just let your hands go a lot earlier in the fight, you could have had this outcome, right? But he clipped Barboza, and Barboza was holding on, trying to buy time. Right. And ultimately, he did not have enough time to close out the show. But I'm like, man, that was a wasted opportunity in the early half of the fight. Because again, as I said, he was having success with that right hand, overhand right, whenever he was throwing it. But he did not throw it enough. And when you aren't throwing it enough and you're at your opponent's home, you are not going to get that good scorecard. So I think he needs to come into this fight and take more risks early, because you have to kind of sell out when you're fighting Regis Prograis. You cannot let him get comfortable and dictate the momentum of this fight, because you will find yourself on the canvas, or you will take 12 rounds of punishment. Now, in his last fight, he stopped his opponent in the first round, and everything that I just said is exactly what he did in his last fight against his last opponent. He just brought the pressure early and just started to let his hands go at a quicker rate, but more consistently, and just went in there with belief and confidence, and he stopped his opponent in the first round again. I think he's going to need to do a little bit more of that and then some, but he's going to need to incorporate more volume and a quicker rate against Regis Prograis if he wants to win that fight. So who wins? Look, this is going to be an exciting fight, man. I'm expecting a few rounds of tough, grueling inside fight. But one thing about Regis Prograis, man, is he's going to make you fight. Right? You're not just going to be able to stand on the outside and try to outbox him. No, he's going to bring the fight to you. He's going to bring the pressure to you. He is going to force you to fight. Can you withstand those moments throughout the fight where you have to stand toes and hold your ground? I don't think Zorilla will be able to do that. I'm taking Regis Prograis to win this fight by late stoppage. Barboza, man, there were some moments and some rounds where Barboza had Zorilla hurt. It wasn't a crazy amount of pain, like his knees wobbling, but there are moments where he took a shot and he backed up, right? And if Barboza pounced forward, maybe he would have been able to be more effective in the stoppage play. But, I just think, man, you can't let Regis Prograis get comfortable. And the way how he looked in his last fight, if he looks anything like that, man, I don't see how this one does not end by way of stoppage. However, Zorilla is tough. He's got a great chin. He's smart. He's crafty. He's a good, solid fighter, man. And he may be able to get himself out of the trouble. He's going to know what to do when he is in trouble. But ultimately, man, I think Regis Prograis' pressure, accuracy, power, confidence, all of that combined. And right now in this career where he's going to want to make a statement and put on a fantastic performance in front of his home crowd, all that momentum mixed in one, I'm taking Regis Prograis by late KO stoppage in this fight. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways you can do so. You can like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you would like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel. It will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Recently just started membership on the channel, man. I don't always get to do all of the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below. But if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you. Shout out to all of the members already holding down the membership section, man. I appreciate each of you. Shout out to everybody that continues to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Shout out to everybody that has hit me with the super thanks this week, man. I appreciate that more than you know. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this long, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.